Alright, another video update for the 280 Safari / Dakar build. Recently we built this front bumper. It's one and a half, I think it's 95,000 wall. It's pretty thin, but it's just for testing. I'm trying to test the new tube bender that I got, JDSquared. Really good so far. I built also this mount, this tower mount, and it's holding pretty good. I thought that foot was going to be too small, and it's just perfect. We used it for the first time on this bumper. As you can see, we're trying to keep the original curves of the car, because the whole goal is to try to keep it looking classic. It's mounted on the original mounts of the bumper, so we're just tapping into it and then adding it. And on the side we're tapping onto the toe points, so the whole bumper is removable in case we crashed or bent it. I recorded the measurements so we can redo it if necessary. The engine still giving me problems with the hesitation during acceleration or quick acceleration, because it will accelerate just fine, but if you go really fast, it chokes. It kind of gives a noise of like an electrical short circuit, but it's a mechanical high pitch vibration, like zzz, zzz, and it comes from the rail or the regulator. So I switch regulators, actually I switch rails, injectors, and regulator with the 77, and the issue is still there. So I changed spark plugs again, ignition coil, and nothing. Oh, fuel filter, true, nothing is working so far. I checked for a vacuum and there's no leaks, so I'm starting to debate that it may be this regulator or maybe the fast EFI system. The computer may still be learning, and that's part of the process. I'm still I'm still clueless, trying to figure it out. Potentially might buy a fuel rail with a regulator remote, to try to remove this out of the equation. We'll see. Since the last video, I had to change the master brake cylinder, not the booster but just the piston area, because it was leaking from the actual plastic housing, and I just thought that it was time to replace it. And thank God I did, because once I removed the old one, internally it looked like shit. Changed filter on the intake, because it was about time, since I was doing the front bumper. Now I think the fuse links, they have been a pain in the ass. So if you have a Datsun and you have these electrical problems all over the place, these things are the biggest problem. It makes small intermittent failures are the worst. So I redid them. I reduced the original cabling. I noticed that most of the issues with the cabling, the original ones, was at the joints, right where they meet the connector, and either corrosion or just bending with time had degraded the internal copper wires. And these fuse links, even though they look thick, they look like, I don't know, 12 gauge or 10 gauge. There's only like 3 or 4 strands of copper internally. That's why they're meant to be blown. They can carry a lot less current than what the 12 gauge can. But anyway, those joints at the end was a problem. Redid them. Huge solution. No more electrical issues on the dash, on the gauges, internally. There's so much crap that those motherfuckers were causing. Simple fix now. All my electrical issues are gone. Internally, check out the dash. Look how pretty it looks. We flocked it after last video. I'm not sure if I got to show you. We bundle. Let me get in the car. I have a video that I might include inside of this video. Nice and clean. I think it looks beautiful as compared to what it was. Now, temp and oil pressure are not working, so I'm gonna remove that gauge and put something else. Fuel and volt are working beautiful, and this one used to be my clock, and I removed it and I put an oil pressure gauge because the turn it on so you can see how it looks. There you go. um, I turned it I removed the clock because it was useless and it wasn't working. Plus my oil pressure sensor here is not, the sensor or and the gauge are not working. I tried to mess with them for a while because I really want to use the original one, but I couldn't figure it out. The sensors, the sender unit seemed to be working when I was measuring it with a multimeter. The gauge was working too because I was giving it voltage. Mechanically, it's a spring that it just heats up and kind of gives you the range of where you should land. So both seem to be fine. It might be something in the wiring. It works sometimes, and I just gave up. Put a new sensor. It fits perfect on the clock. As you can see internally, this outer perimeter is the original trim. You see how this one has a trim here that roll around it. So the clock used to have a trim, and this sensor just dropped in there. I got lucky. I literally just got lucky, and it's just such an easy fix. I dropped it in there in less than 5 minutes. This tachometer, as you can see, is not working. It works some days and some others don't, but since I have it on the fast EFI screen, I have temperature, RPMs, fuel to oil ratio, battery, most of the stuff, temperature, most of the stuff is there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that screen in there. I think it's gonna fit barely. This is 3.7 or 4.7. I think it's 3.7 inches long, and it does fit in there. So I'm gonna figure out how to put it in there and make it look better than just sitting out there. A lot of electrical cleaning, especially because of the freaking fuse links that I was telling you guys. But now the whole car is a lot cleaner. My flashers. So apparently we have two flashers for the blinkers and the hazards. This one is one of them. This is the other one. This one goes high up into that corner. This one goes right above the steering column. This boot I put it last time. Also filled the holes with the rubber pieces of trim, so no more dirt and smoke coming to the cabin. Same thing in the trunk. Painted the bare metal because I'm driving it now more often in the street and in the rain, and I didn't want the rust to start creeping into the new metal. As you can see, there's mud all over the car. We took it out for a test drive. Mud flaps are doing their job. They're starting to curve because of too much mud, so I'm going to build a little aluminum bracket just to keep it straight and have its integrity as it's collecting mud. Tank in there painted, all clean finally. Suspension is still a little too rough, but I'm getting it there. I'm starting to dial it more, especially up here with, oh, you cannot see it, there it is. So I'm messing with the damper regulator, and I'm getting there, not quite there yet. Let's see what else is new. The other side, oh, lights. So I put on these lights. These are the copycats of the original ones. I bought them on Amazon. They were ridiculously cheap. I think it was like 70 bucks for both. It was just stupid. It's just stupid cheap, and they are freaking great. Huge improvement. I was not expecting that. I read the comments. Half of the people say they're trash, half people say they're okay, and I was just, I need some lights because the originals were trash. These are amazing. I'll leave you guys here with one more shot around the car. Let me just walk around it. There it is. I'll update you when I have more.